After the smoke of the Civil War faded, America stood bruised but alive and ready to build a new future with courage, determination, and the will to rise from its own ashes. The young nation began rebuilding its cities, industries, and spirit, using the lessons of struggle to power a new age of growth and ambition. The late 1800s became a time of invention, expansion, and confidence as factories, railroads, and ideas connected people from one coast to the other. America had discovered its identity as a land where effort could change destiny and where ordinary men and women could build extraordinary lives. The Industrial Revolution had turned farms into factories and steam into strength, pushing America into a new modern age of progress. Immigrants continued to arrive from every corner of the world, carrying hope in their hearts and dreams of freedom in their hands, helping the nation grow faster than ever before. The great cities of New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia became symbols of opportunity as their skylines rose higher every year. The invention of electricity, automobiles, and the telephone made America the center of innovation and human creativity. By the early 1900s, the United States had become one of the richest and most productive countries in the world, leading in steel, oil, and manufacturing. But the new century brought new challenges, and the world beyond its borders began to feel America's growing power. When World War I broke out in 1914, the United States at first stayed neutral, watching Europe tear itself apart, while its industries kept producing goods and weapons. In 1917, America finally entered the war, joining the fight for freedom and democracy on a global stage for the first time in history. The war ended in 1918 with victory for the Allies, and America stood taller than ever, emerging as a key world power with influence and confidence. The 1920s became a decade of growth, celebration, and change known as the Roaring Twenties, filled with jazz cars, movies, and modern dreams. But success was soon followed by tragedy as the stock market crashed in 1929, sending millions into poverty during what became known as the Great Depression. Factories closed, banks failed, and hope seemed lost, yet Americans once again refused to surrender to despair. Under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, new reforms known as the New Deal began rebuilding the economy, giving people jobs and restoring faith in the nation. Slowly, the country began to recover, proving that courage and unity could defeat even economic disaster. Then, in 1939, another global storm began as World War II exploded across Europe and Asia, threatening freedom everywhere. When Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941, America entered the war with determination, turning its factories into engines of victory. American soldiers fought across oceans and continents, while millions at home worked day and night building ships, tanks, and planes for the war effort. The war ended in 1945 with Germany and Japan defeated and the world forever changed by America's power and leadership. 2 atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki showed both the terrible strength and responsibility that came with modern technology. After the war, the United States stood as the strongest nation on earth, both economically and militarily, ready to lead the world into a new era. Europe lay in ruins while America's cities were booming and its industries untouched, making it the center of global trade and innovation. The next great challenge was not fought with weapons but with ideas. As the Cold War began between the United States and the Soviet Union, it was a struggle between freedom and control, democracy and communism that shaped world politics for nearly half a century. America expanded its influence through alliances, technology, and culture, leading the Western world through both fear and hope. During this time, scientists and engineers turned dreams into reality, building rockets, computers, and airplanes that pushed the boundaries of human achievement. In 1969, America reached the moon, proving that imagination and science together could conquer the impossible and inspiring the entire world. The space race became not just a contest of technology, but a symbol of progress, courage, and belief in limitless possibility. At the same time, America faced deep challenges at home, with civil rights movements demanding justice and equality for all citizens. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. carried forward Lincoln's dream, showing that the fight for freedom never truly ends. Through protests and reforms, America began to redefine itself again, proving that democracy could evolve and grow stronger through struggle. The Cold War continued through decades of tension wars and diplomacy, with the world watching every move of the two superpowers. When the Berlin Wall finally fell in 1989, it marked the symbolic victory of democracy and the global leadership of the United States. The 1990s brought a new age of information technology as computers and the internet transformed communication business and daily life forever. America became the hub of digital innovation, leading the world into the modern information era. Global culture, from movies to music, began to carry the American spirit of freedom and creativity across every continent. The world began to look toward the United States not only for military protection, but also for inspiration in science, entertainment, and technology. Challenges continued in the new century, with terrorism, economic shifts, and political changes testing the nation's resilience once more. Yet through every storm, America held firm to its principles of liberty, democracy, and innovation that had guided it for centuries. The rise of Silicon Valley transformed the nation again as technology replaced steel and engines as the new source of power. The American dream evolved from building factories to building ideas, proving that progress never truly stops, it only changes its form. Today, the United States stands as a symbol of both power and possibility, its story filled with triumph, sacrifice, and constant reinvention. The rise of America was not built on luck, but on faith in freedom, hard work, and the courage to face challenges bigger than itself. From railroads to rockets, from the Civil War to cyberspace, every chapter of America's journey was written by people who refused to give up. The world watches the nation that rose from humble beginnings to lead humanity into the modern age with all its light and shadow. The story of America's rise is the story of innovation and endurance, of a people who turned struggle into strength and dreams into destiny. The rise of America is not just history, it is the living proof that belief in progress can build a nation strong enough to change the world. The story of America's rise is not just about power or technology, but about people who dared to believe that freedom and progress could walk together and shape a better world. Every invention, every battle, and every voice of hope built the identity of a nation that never stopped dreaming, even when the world doubted its strength. From the fields of struggle to the cities of innovation, America kept proving that hard work and courage can turn any challenge into opportunity. The rise of this nation was not written in comfort, but carved through sweat, sacrifice, and endless determination. Its journey reminds us that true greatness comes not from dominance, but from the ability to inspire others to stand tall and move forward. Every chapter of American history teaches that change is never easy, but always possible for those who dare to try. The dream that began in small towns and wooden cabins grew into a force that touched every corner of the earth with ideas of liberty and hope. Today, that dream continues in every scientist, artist, teacher, and worker who believes the future can always be brighter than the past. The rise of America is still being written every day through its people, their struggles, their unity, and their will to keep reaching higher. And as history turns its pages, one truth remains clear: a nation built on freedom never truly stops rising.